It was a cold Friday evening in New York. Billionaire Ethan Walker had just left a bank. His driver waited outside. As Ethan reached into his wallet, he frowned. Only one $100 bill remained. He smiled. "I'll get cash tomorrow." As he crossed the street, he noticed an old homeless man sitting alone under a bridge. His clothes were torn. Rain soaked his jacket. A small cardboard sign read, "I'm not asking for money. I just want something to eat." People walked past without looking. Ethan stopped. He stared at the old man's faded military jacket. Without saying a word, he placed the last $100 in the man's hand. The old man looked up. His tired eyes filled with tears. "You don't even know me." Ethan smiled. "I don't have to. You look like someone who once protected people." The old man slowly stood, saluted him, and quietly said, "One day, I'll return this kindness." Ethan smiled politely. He never imagined, 3 days later, that promise would save his entire family. The homeless veteran. The old man's name was Jack Miller. 20 years earlier, he had served in the U.S. Army. He completed several dangerous missions overseas. He received medals for bravery. But after returning home, he lost his wife to illness. His son died in a tragic accident. With no family left, Jack slowly lost everything. His home, his savings, his hope. Yet, he never begged. He simply asked for enough food to survive. The kind billionaire. Ethan Walker wasn't born rich. As a teenager, he worked nights washing dishes. Years later, he built one of America's largest construction companies. Even after becoming a billionaire, he never forgot what it felt like to struggle. His wife often asked, "Why do you trust strangers so easily?" Ethan always smiled. "Because one stranger once believed in me." Danger arrives. 3 days later, Ethan's family gathered at their mansion. His wife, his teenage daughter, and his elderly mother were celebrating his birthday. Outside, a black van slowly stopped near the gate. 4 masked men stepped out. They quietly climbed over the wall. Inside the house, the lights suddenly went out. One of the security guards shouted, "Everyone get down." The alarm began to ring. The intruders rushed toward the family. Fear filled the mansion. The unexpected hero. Across the street, Jack Miller was walking toward a nearby shelter. He heard the alarm. Then, he recognized the mansion. It belonged to the man who had helped him. Without hesitation, Jack ran toward the gate. Years of military training returned instantly. He spotted the attackers' movements. He quietly found another entrance. As one intruder raised his weapon, a powerful voice echoed through the hallway. "Step away from that family." Everyone turned. Standing in the doorway was the homeless veteran. The attackers laughed. They had no idea who they were about to face. The fight. The masked men laughed. "An old homeless man? He's no threat." Jack slowly took off his torn jacket. Underneath, his old military dog tag still hung around his neck. He looked at the leader. "I've faced enemies far more dangerous than you." One attacker charged toward him. Jack stepped aside, grabbed his arm, and disarmed him in seconds. The second attacker rushed forward. Jack used his military training to knock him down. The remaining 2 panicked. They hadn't expected an old veteran to fight like this. Within moments, the mansion's security team arrived. The attackers fled into the night. Ethan's family was safe. The secret. Police questioned Jack. One officer recognized his name. Jack Miller? The Silver Star recipient? Everyone looked surprised. The officer nodded. This man saved dozens of soldiers during a rescue mission years ago. Ethan stared at Jack. You never told me. Jack smiled. My past doesn't matter. I did what any soldier would do. Ethan quietly replied. No. You did what a hero would do. A new beginning. The next morning, Ethan visited the homeless shelter. Jack was packing his small bag. I'm leaving. I don't like being a burden. Ethan smiled. You'll never be a burden. He handed Jack a set of keys. What are these? Your new home. Jack froze. I can't accept this. Ethan shook his head. You accepted danger for my family. Now let me do something for yours, even if they're no longer here. Jack's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in years, he felt he belonged somewhere. The offer. A week later, Ethan invited Jack to his company headquarters. Employees stood and applauded as Jack entered. Ethan smiled. I have one more favor to ask. Jack laughed. What now? I want you to lead our Veteran Support Foundation. Jack looked shocked. Me? You understand their struggles better than anyone. We need someone with your heart. Jack slowly nodded. I'll do it. But only if every veteran is treated with dignity. Ethan smiled. You have my word. Just then, a lawyer entered the room with unexpected news. The men who attacked your mansion didn't act alone. The real mastermind is someone much closer than you think. The real enemy. The lawyer placed a file on Ethan's desk. Inside were photographs, bank records, and security reports. Ethan looked through them carefully. Then his face turned pale. The attacks weren't random. The lawyer nodded. They were organized by your former business partner, Michael Grant. Years earlier, Michael had been forced to leave the company after trying to steal millions from investors. He wanted revenge. Destroying Ethan's family was his final plan. Jack quietly stood up. If he's planning another attack, we don't have much time. Chapter 10, The Final Confrontation. That night, police surrounded an abandoned warehouse outside the city. Inside, Michael and his remaining men prepared to escape. Jack looked at Ethan. Stay behind me. The police entered. Michael tried to run, but Jack blocked the only exit. Michael laughed. You're just an old homeless man. Jack smiled calmly. No. I'm a soldier who never stopped protecting people. Michael lunged toward him. Within seconds, Jack disarmed him and held him until the police arrived. The handcuffs clicked shut. It was over. The man who tried to destroy Ethan's family would never hurt anyone again. Chapter 11, A Hero Honored. A month later, the city organized a special ceremony. Hundreds of people gathered. Veterans, police officers, firefighters, and ordinary families. The mayor stepped onto the stage. Today, we honor a man who reminded us that true heroes never stop serving. Jack Miller was awarded the City Medal of Courage. The crowd stood and applauded. Many veterans wiped away tears. For years, Jack had been invisible. Now, The entire city knew his name. Chapter 12, A New Purpose. Ethan kept his promise. The Veteran Support Foundation opened centers across the country. Thousands of homeless veterans received safe housing, medical care, job training, mental health support. Jack personally welcomed every veteran who walked through the doors. He always greeted them with the same words. "You're not forgotten." Many who had lost hope found a new beginning. Epilogue. 1 year later. Ethan and his family visited the foundation. Children laughed in the garden. Veterans shared meals together. Jack stood watching with a smile. Ethan walked over. "Remember the day I gave you my last $100? Jack laughed. "I remember." Ethan smiled. "I thought I was helping one man." Jack placed a hand on his shoulder. "You were. But your kindness ended up helping thousands." They shook hands. Not as a billionaire and a homeless veteran, but as two friends whose lives had changed forever. Years later, a young reporter asked Jack, "What was the greatest gift anyone ever gave you?" People expected him to say, "A house, a job, a second chance." Instead, Jack smiled and answered, "Someone looked at a homeless old man and still saw a human being. That changed everything." The reporter lowered her microphone. The room fell silent. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness creates the greatest legacy.